Those days on this station were the first that they were done any place.
Well, this was the first station between New York and Chicago, and I was the first woman who ever did news. You know, my husband once told me that he was in a bar. That's before I was married to him, and I came on, and the guy said, "Take her off. Who wants to hear a damn woman doing the news?" We had a break tradition.
Yes, and it's been a pioneering change too.
Oh yes, it's altogether different. Now, of course, I had some extraordinary experiences. You know, when I went to cover the war in '67, they wanted a man to go with me, Al Rosen did, and I saw a magnificent-looking Israeli soldier, and I said, "I want him. Buy him for me. I don't care what he costs."
You didn't get him though, but you got a lot while you were there. Dorothy, thank you for these few minutes. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back. We're going to take a look at some of the other faces that have been on this screen over the past 35 years.
They'll all be on? Yeah, let's take some green one.
Can I get up now?
That I used to cry all the way to.
1947. Television may have just been beginning in Cleveland with WEWS. For me, in London in those days, there was no such thing as television. Radio was the thing, the BBC in particular, and one 15-minute program that my parents let me listen to every night, Dick Barton's Special Agent, with his faithful companions, Snowy and Jock. There were two other people I remember hearing in those days, Alistair Cook and Edward R. Murrow. My father listened to them faithfully, and so I would listen along with him, and they gave me my first sense of what it was I wanted to do in this life, to become a journalist, and most especially to become a broadcast journalist. How have things changed over the years? Well, I guess the biggest change for me is that I'm now on this side of the Atlantic, broadcasting sometimes back in the other direction, but still doing what Ed Murrow was doing those 35 years ago, and that is trying to make the world a somewhat smaller place and to bring some understanding about one side of the Atlantic to the other side of the Atlantic. I thought it was a great job back then. I still do.
Next, relive the days of Upbeat, the 1 O'Clock Club, plus Marvin Hamlish, Merv Griffin, and Phil Donahue.
I hadn't even seen television in 1947. I didn't see it till the following year when they brought a little pilot television set to my dressing room at the Riverside Theater in Milwaukee. And about 50 of us stood around and stared at a little tiny Milton Berle. We've come a long way in those 35 years, and I congratulate Channel 5 on wonderful shows and creative broadcasting. This is the year, 35 years. The birthstone is either coral or jade. So if you folks out there have any class, you'll send all of your coral and jade to Channel 5 here in Cleveland. Congratulations, and many more years of excellent broadcasting.
There are so many people who wanted to be here today to say happy 35th anniversary. And there was Beethoven. There was Mozart. There was Chopin. Yes, but they couldn't make it, let's face it. They're doing another show at another network. But anyway, to all of you, from all of us composers, happy 35th anniversary to you. Happy 35th anniversary to you. And I just hope it, on my big birthday, I hope you'll all be out there making promos and stuff for me too. Best of luck. Bye.
Just about everybody who is anybody at one time or another has sat across a microphone from a TV5 interviewer. Let's look at some of those faces from the past.
Remember that bank that I used to cry all the way to? I bought it.
Dear old golden rule day.
Love to be with you on the morning extra.
People do listen when I sing.
I put it on your tummy?
Why not?
Okay. Excuse me. Played hooker in it. I love that, and I got to die.
I got caught spitting on the alligator.
Hit the big 4-0 here lately.
The big 4-0, gang.
Was that a little sauce coming up for Jeff, in other words? I think yes.
My name, Jose Jimenez. You must lose the weight in your head before losing the weight in your body.
But every time Marie performed, I left the room. It was bad.
Okay.
Somebody asked me the other day that I want to go down in history known as a beer can. I said, that's fine.
We get together every Wednesday afternoon, and we decide how we're going to carve up the rest of the country.
I think it's terribly important for this nation to understand.
I'm a long-time fan of Vegas. Are you talking to me now?
Yeah, you're talking to us.
I had been asked as far back as 20 years ago when Simon & Schuster said to me, you really should write a book about your life. I said, let me live one, and then I'll write about it.
Well, he's doing more now in the way of looking down and humming and hawing and you know, the great thing about doing Ronald Reagan is if you don't have an answer, you're doing a perfect Ronald Reagan. Well, the only way I get on the tube now is when I'm on the news. And for Pete's sake, they don't even pay me for it. Well, good luck. And who knows, you know, maybe when TV5 is in its 70s, it will be running the country. Yes.
You know, a lot of people who have appeared on Cleveland television throughout the years left town, but so many others are still with us. And we have 3 such people with us right now. Alice Weston is here, Norm Wayne is here, Bill Gordon, and they all appeared at one time or another on TV5. And I was kind of surprised to learn that a couple of these people were with us on TV5. Alice is with WUAB, channel 43 right now. And back in the old days, what year was it? 48, 49?
On Valentine's Day in 1948.
What did you do on channel 5?
All I was allowed to do was cook. They wouldn't let women on for anything else.
Oh my gosh.
And I threw cookies to the cameraman, and it was a good idea because Jack Moffat was a cameraman and he became my boss.
And Jack, of course, is general manager of Channel 43 now. You threw him good cookies, Alice. It was
right. I got rich, too.
Can I ask you, how much money did you make when you worked at Channel 5?
Well, I did 2 half hours, and they paid me $75. And then we had so many clients that they asked me to do another half hour, and they paid me 25 cents for each show. And in those days, we didn't have teleprompter, no copy. You had to know the product and ad-lib. So I made $1.25 on the 3rd half hour.
Boy, you must have become wealthy after all that. We got, I think, were there a couple of pictures that we were able to show of the old days? It must have been fun days for you.
We had a ball.
Oh, of course. Norm Wayne, I did not know that you were a talent on Channel 5.
That was the best kept secret.
Yeah. And you did like a dance show.
Right, the Friedman Buick Dance Party, Saturday mornings at 11 o'clock. Lots of fun. We did it for almost 2 years.
You must have some great memories.
Well, the thing I remember most about the show was that in those days there was no tape. It was black and white.
That's right.
And nobody paid for rehearsal time.
Yeah.
So we sort of ad-libbed an hour of live television. It was chaos every Saturday morning.
And you did it or you didn't, and that's all there was to it.
We had a lot of fun. They drove the cars right in the studio. And
right.
I used to run back and forth while the show was on and just make it up as we went along.
Marvelous. Bill Gordon, of course, did the 1 o'clock club. And Bill, you're still doing things with Viacom now. And you're doing the Bill Gordon Beechwood show. You're doing the Bill Gordon On the Scene, right?
Yes.
But back in the old days, you did the 1 o'clock club with Dorothy Fulltime.
I remember that.
I bet you do.
Is this academic challenge?
No, I'm not challenging.
I know the answer. All right, you know, I can barely hear you with all the pandemonium here in the lobby of the hotel. But there's a picture. The one on the left is me, and the other one is Dorothy Fulltime. And we had a show that, boy, I'll tell you, that show was a winner. That show paid for a lot of the stuff that you guys are using down there now. I want you to know
paid the bills, right? Yeah.
You're not kidding.
It was really a forerunner of a lot of the other shows to come, wasn't it?
It wasn't that, Don, at all. The other shows like Mike Douglas and so forth simply copied every single thing we did. And it doesn't bother me that they took that show.
You ought to be glad
it doesn't really bother me at all that we, and it doesn't know.
Or are you having a heart attack?
I'm not. I'm just a little bit upset.
Thank you very much.
It bugs me. That's
I had a great time at TV5 and being a part of a lot of the shows that came along. And I think that what we'll do now is take a look at some of the old ones, and we'll start with the 1 o'clock club.
Yes.
My son was telling me in the book, he describes his wife as 1/3 Italian, 1/3 Irish, and 1/3 lie detector. Do you remember that in the book?
It's true, it's true, it's true. Then there was the Gene Carroll Show, where tomorrow's stars could...